about our guest expert today, Chris. Chris is calling in from, I believe, Long Island right now, but Chris, you can correct me if you're down in Florida. Chris is the co-owner, along with his wife, Emily, of Ruff Life Mobile Grooming. They've grown to 14 vans, 18 employees across 2 states. And over the 15 years of experience in grooming and many more in small business, Chris has turned himself into what I call a pricing maestro. I mean, he's tried everything under the sun, and that's why I brought him here tonight to share a little bit about his experience when it comes to pricing and how he thinks about setting pricing strategy. Chris, let me throw it over to you real quick. What did I miss in your intro?
I'm definitely, you pretty much covered it all. I'm actually currently in Palm Beach, Florida, South Florida. So hi to anyone from the Florida area. We do cover Long Island. That's where we were born, originating. The company started 8 years ago on Long Island. My wife and I were a small family business. We have 2 young kids, 4 and 6. We do have over 20 employees and multi-state operation. My wife's technically right now on a flight from New York back down to Florida. She goes back to New York and works every 3 weeks, and we do travel a lot back and forth. Pretty much got it covered with that.
Cool.
Thank you for having us, Alex and Drake, also.
Of course. And obviously we'll learn a little bit more about you and your business as we get going here. Tonight's structure, just a heads up, is we're going to walk through a bunch of different things, obviously. And we're going to try and keep it pretty tight because, like I said, I know we're all busy and we've got things to do. But it's all about pricing strategy. Chris is going to lead us through a 20-ish, 30-ish minute workshop on how to think about pricing. We're going to talk about all things why pricing strategies matter, how to set your prices, when to raise them, how to build a system around raising your prices so that you can do it on a regular basis. Some things that you can do with extras, whether it's holiday charging or, surcharges. And then towards the end of this, after Chris is done walking us through more of a structured conversation, we're going to open up the floor and we're going to have questions. We're going to have answers. Anyone can kind of chime in with their own questions. And one thing I do want to point out is we have a lot of different archetypes on this call. Like I said, we've got people that are doing mobile, people that are doing franchises, people that are independent salons, right? All across the country. But the important thing to note is that these strategies and topics should apply to you regardless of your market and regardless of what kind of business you run. Like I said, these are just all like strategies, ways to think through things. Chris will share his experience, obviously, as a mobile operator up in the Northeast. But take that with a grain of salt because everything can be applied to what you're doing today.
No matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter what state you're in, pricing matters from the beginning, whether you're mobile, in-home, you have 10 units, 1 unit, you're working by yourself, no matter what, everything starts with pricing. It is the most important topic we can discuss when it comes to grooming. And unfortunately, there is no handbook and we have to figure it out on our own. And I'm hoping that I can be of assistance to run through our strategies and what makes us successful as a whole and take it from there. So why does pricing strategy matter? The importance of correctly pricing. From the minute we started our business, we've always put our prices on our website and we've been very clear and transparent with our pricing. And to have that pricing down correctly is important because that's going to set the standard for your company, your image, and the service you're providing for your clients. When we started back in 2017, there was no one to go look at. No one had their prices on their website. It was a very secretive business and no one had any websites. No one did any online booking. It wasn't like that. So we kind of just had to make up a number and we just went with it. And obviously our phone rang a lot. And with that being said, we had to readjust our pricing in the beginning like any other business has to. So we definitely had our fair share of changing our prices in the beginning to get ourselves to where we need to be and to really price ourselves to the point where it's profitable and remember for the rainy day, we'll call it. So we keep our pricing very simple. I'm not a dog groomer. I'm a business. I have a very extensive business background. My wife's a dog groomer of 15 plus years. She worked for corporate. She wanted to get out of corporate. So we started a mobile grooming business, one van. And I didn't know dog breeds, and I knew that I can run any business, I can make anything successful. I just can't sit on a computer and look up dog breeds and give a pricing that she brought home an encyclopedia that had like 300 pages of pricing from the corporate world that I was like, this isn't going to work. We need it to be simple. I need to be able to go as a non-dog person, need to go on a website in 3 clicks and figure out how much this is going to cost me to get done. Otherwise, I'm going to need a team of people answering phones. I'm going to need to go to school to learn dog breeds, and I didn't want to do any of that. So we kind of just kept it very, very simple. We came up with 8 years ago pricing by weight categories and also coat length. So we had long hair and short hair. And then we had weight categories. So we did 0 to 15, 16 to 25, 26 to 40, and then 40 plus. And obviously, my wife being a groomer, she says, but, you're telling me that a 40-pound dog is the same price as an 80-pound dog or a 100-pound dog. We didn't know. So I just said, let's go with it. Let's just, throw that out there. Obviously, the phone rang for only big dogs. And we had to readjust our brochures and throw away hundreds of dollars worth of printed material that we had. And redo our categories. We went 40 to 60 and then 60 plus, and then we went 60 to 80, 80 plus. Now, obviously, fast forward 8 years later, still tweaking. Up until a month ago, we added a new category called curly coated breeds, which basically falls in for all the doodles or curly coated poodle, anything that us or you groomers is more annoying to do and takes more time, and you need to charge for that. So we added that category. It's been working amazing. It's more expensive than your long hair. So currently we have short hair, long hair, double coated, and curly coated breeds. And that's basically split into categories in about 15-pound increments, 0 to 15, 16 to 25, 26 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 100, 100 to 150, and then 150 plus. Guys, this pricing is transparent. I am a big fan of anything that is transparent. We want our clients to know exactly what is this service is going to cost before we even get there. It weeds out a lot of people for our service. So we put our pricing on our website. We get about 6,000 hits a month on our website. I would need a call center to answer 6,000 phone calls if I didn't have my pricing. So immediately, the second we put our pricing online, out of those 6,000, about 4,000 of them can't afford, won't pay, don't want to pay our pricing. And that's amazing. And it just gets rid of them and they don't call us. Then you're left with 2,000. And then, it dwindles down as it continues. They keep clicking and they see our fees and then the tax. And, once they really, discover who we are, it brings it all the way down. So it's eliminating a lot of, the chitter chat on the phone and having secretaries tied up on the phone for, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and everyone's giving their life story on the phone. So even our secretaries, they're trained. The second they answer the phone, there's 2 things we want to know immediately at that phone call. The second we answer, it's what town do you live in to make sure we service you, and how much it's going to cost. We throw that out there in the first 10 seconds of the conversation, because based on their reaction is determined if we're going to spend the time and energy on the phone with them and really tell them why we're worth $175 for a 6-pound Morkie. And really wow them and show them and keep going. A lot of times the convo, their attitude, it just changes real quick. They cut the convo short, or we cut it short because we feel like they're not just going to be a fit for us. So we definitely pre-screen our calls. And again, this is pricing transparency that we live by from the minute we started our business. And I think it is absolutely the most important, important strategy to use. It just eliminates a lot of hassle and headache later. And obviously all our prices, people will say, well, but you don't know, you haven't seen the dog, you haven't seen the condition. When's the last time it was groomed? You're not a groomer, so how can you give a price? Well, all our pricing on our website, they're based on a model that's basically your dog has been on a regular routine for every 4 or 6 weeks, a maintained coat. So if we pull up to Alex, that our price is $175 if your dog weighs between 0 and 15 pounds and it's in good condition, meaning it's been groomed or brushed and not matted and hasn't not been to the groomer in 6 months and there's nothing weird or funky, then we're good. And we always tell the clients, we charge by weight. The minute we get there, we weigh your dog. If your dog weighs less than what you're telling us, we will readjust your price less. If the dog weighs more, your package will be readjusted for the higher category. We will still come back to your door or text you or call you and say, hey, you told us your dog's 15 pounds. It's actually 18. The next pricing is going to be $190. Are you okay with that? I guess so. That's fine. Obviously, groomer discretion. They might want to keep it at $175 and just do them a one-time courtesy. Where they might want to raise them. that's on the groomer discretion, but at least the clients know on the phone what they can expect before we even pull up to their house. Everything is disclosed on the phone immediately with no questions. And again, we try to do this because we don't want to put our groomers in an awkward position either when they get to the house. Everything's already pre-sold on the phone. So our groomers pull up. There's no discussion about how much is it going to be? Why is it so expensive? Why do you charge this? We take all of that out for our groomers, and they do what they love to do, which is groom. So this will help also for your employees, and especially if you're running mobile shops, same thing. I mean, once people know services, I mean, isn't it amazing when we want to book a service, we go online, you want to have your AC duct cleaned, and the guy comes and he tells you the price and you know it before he even gets there. I think that's just the most amazing business strategy from my point of view.
Chris, real quick.
So, yeah.
We got a bunch of people asking, what kind of scale do you guys use when people in?
It's a large pet scale. If you go on Amazon, you type in large pet scale. It's about $120. I forget the brand name. I could definitely send you the link, and we could put it up later and put it in the chat later. I could look it up after when we're on the Q&A. I'll look it up on Amazon, tell you the brand, but it's about $125. It's like a large pet scale, it's called. And it's really slim, 2 AA batteries, goes right behind the seat of the groomer. Honestly, that scale pays for itself in about 2 weeks. So every van has one. It's the most amazing thing. I mean, listen, a dog that weighs 40, customers, and, every customer that always calls, their dog always weighs, 40 or 60 or 25. And, at 40, if the dog weighs 45 and not 40, that's $30 more. So again, one job, one readjustment, $30. You're just leaving money on the table. Very important to make sure that, if you're charging by weight, to actually verify and do this. Obviously, groomers get paid commission, so it's to their benefit to weigh the dog for 3 seconds and readjust the price.
Love it. Next slide.
Yes, sir. How do you set your prices? So competitors, first of all, there aren't really competitors. I don't view anybody to me as a competitor. There's more than enough dogs to go around. I know what we bring to the table. I know what my groomers, what kind of expertise and professionalism and what kind of app we use and everything that we offer. So I'm very confident in the business that we run. I'm very big on networking local with a lot of groomers in our area. Again, there's no competition. It's not like that. But at the end of the day, it is competition because they're there and they're popping up and you kind of want to stay ahead of them. So if you're starting out, I mean, you kind of want to be ideally within the same price range, right? So anything, I think, in my opinion, up to $20. Again, personal opinion, I just use $20 as a marker, where if I'm in Florida and our small dog is $125, there might be a groomer doing it for $100. There might be a groomer doing it for $145. I'm in the middle at $125. I don't think anyone is going to actually go to the $140 and just book with the $140 because they're the best or the most expensive. I'm not $80. And I think at the end of the day, being kind of in line with everyone else within $20 of your competition just makes you guys all succeed. And also, at the end of the day, I really think that clients are pretty much wanting availability to be the soonest. So I don't think it's a race. It's not a rat race with pricing. I think it's more about availability from the experience of running what we're running here. I'm noticing that people just want to get done sooner than later. So you might be $20 more. I mean, that's definitely the case on Long Island for sure. I mean, it's very saturated, heavily saturated area. There might be a competitor that can do it for $30 less, but I can do it, in 3 days, but I'm more money. So you kind of get what you pay for. And that's, again, another perk that you're offering to people rather than having to wait. No different than when you're ordering an Uber or anything else. If you want it rushed to you, Amazon Prime, whatever, you're going to pay the extra to have it done sooner. So we kind of have that idea. So we don't want to be too cheap. And we also don't want to be the most expensive, even though we kind of are the most expensive now at this point, being, 8 years later, our reputation with over 1,000 5-star Google reviews. We can kind of be that way. We do have groomers that have been with us since the day we started, which is, again, we have to pay for these things in business. So we don't like to undercut competitors. Do we give discounts? Yeah, we give one-time discounts. It's friendly competition at the end of the day. If you're confident in your business and you're priced correctly, clients will come. It does take time to build up clientele. It didn't happen overnight. We didn't just wake up with 20 groomers. It took 8 years of 24/7 of building and marketing and really going through every single obstacle that you could possibly go through. A lot of trial and error. When I say a lot, I mean, like in tears, trial and error from pulling up to a house and doing a dog, and the person didn't like the haircut, and we drove 40 minutes away, and then he calls back and says, I didn't like the haircut, and then we're like, oh my god, we have to drive all the way back, 40 back to go fix it, and then 40 back to the other job. Obviously, we fixed our waiver, and now pricing correctly, because now we're running a big company with a lot of groomers. We have to account for these things, because when there is a mess up that somebody has to go back and fix, that groomer has to get paid. So if a groomer has to go back and fix a haircut for one of our other groomers, well, she needs to get paid. She's not going to go do it for free. So we have to compensate her. And again, everything at the end of the day is just making sure that you're saving for that time. You're putting in that piggy bank for that time where you need to send a groomer back and give her $25 to go back to this client's house and fix the haircut that's going to take 15 minutes, right? Or when your generator's down. So these are things that, again, monetary, you need to charge. And that's why, again, I know we're getting off topic, but pricing is very important, because these are things people don't actually think about when they're pricing out their dogs to begin with. They don't think of all these things in the beginning, which are actually the most important, more than gas, shampoo, insurance, telephone. We know those expenses are every month regardless. It's the expenses that nobody thinks about. And again, I didn't mention earlier, I do a lot of, we have a website called mobilegroomingcoach.com. I coach a lot of groomers that are getting into the business or that are struggling to help them, to see things exactly like I just stated here, as far as like not realizing, their breakdowns, or they want to upgrade their equipment, or they want to have an extra canine on hand. These are things that most groomers or most people just oversee, that they're not thinking about. They don't realize that they might need that at some point. And we I do that. So if anyone ever needs any help, you could always reach out to me, mobilegroomingcoach.com, and I would be more than happy to help anybody. So I think we're good on this slide, Alex. Thank you. When to raise your prices. I get asked this all the time. When do you raise it? How do you raise it? What, how, do you tell all your customers? Let's just start with, we use a supply and demand model, okay? Basically, if I can't get, and we've done this from day one, from the minute we started our business, we've done a supply and demand model. Supply and demand model in basic terms is basically like you're at a concert, you want to get home, 3,000 people let out of the concert, and you order an Uber. You know the Uber is going to be $300 because there's only 30 Ubers and there's 3,000 people that want to go home. Very simple. So we kind of use that method. And that method applies all the time. Everything in the world is supply and demand pricing. When COVID hit, no one was driving anywhere. Gas was $1. Now gas is $4. So everything is based on supply and demand. The whole world actually runs that way. So we run our business pretty much the same way. So we have a set price right now, and our prices stay the same. If we see that we're not able to get a client in, so clients call, and my secretaries come to me and say, listen, I've had like over the past week, like clients are calling, we're not able to get them in the next week, right? So for our specific business model, we like to get people in 1 week. That's just our strategy. If it's taking longer than a week, people don't want to wait. So they're going to just say thank you, and they're going to try the next person in line. They don't even know the price. They're willing to pay whatever. They're willing to pay extra. They want it done sooner. So if I can't get it done sooner and I'm fully booked, well then, I have to say to myself, well, I can raise my prices $5 and, $5 or $10, and I'm going to lose clients. Okay. That's number two. You're going to lose clients. And the minute you're okay with losing clients and you tell yourself, it's okay, I'm going to lose clients and I'm okay with that. The second you accept that it's okay to lose clients, and that for every one you lose, there's 2 more that are willing to pay more. The second that clicks in your head, the second you're going to become super, super successful. It's always upsetting when, we do lose clients over $5, and people say like, really, people still drop you over $5 at 175. If I raise tomorrow to 180, there are people that are just like, I had enough of you. I went from 160 to 165 to one, and enough is enough. I'm out. I'm done. And that's fine, because they leave. And then I have new clients coming in that the guy just got a dog and he wants it groomed, and he's willing to pay that $5 or $10 increase. So even if they didn't, just raising your prices, again, numbers, you have 10 people, if you raise all 10 of them, $10 each, that's 100. If 1 or 2 of them, you're not grooming anymore, you're going to lose 2 clients. You're still making the same amount of money doing less work. So even if you don't take on new clients, you're still making the same money doing less work. These things have to click in so that you realize that, it's okay to lose clients. And if you use that model, like we use for supply and demand, you're totally fine and it will work. Usually, generally, It's a once a year price increase. During COVID, it was definitely more than once a year. It was more like 3 or 4 times a year, only because of the circumstances. We were shorthanded. We couldn't get vans. We had the demand. We had to unplug our phones. I mean, obviously things are different now. So we're kind of back on our like once a year price adjustment, maybe twice a year price adjustment. We also definitely watch client behavior. If people are willing to pay more, then we will raise our prices. Again, sometimes to like bring it one step further with this is that, you know, sometimes people say like, well, then you just go in and raise, you know, 5,000 of your clients in one shot. Like, so what we do is usually, like, for example, if I wanted to raise our prices tomorrow, what I would do is I would keep everyone that's pre-booked in the computer system until the end of the year. If they have an appointment booked in our system, they'll stay at that price grandfathered in. Anyone calling new, we update our website prices first. So it's kind of like a gas station, right? You go there, the guy's changing the price on the sign, but the people that are paying at the pump already, they're still paying the old $2.99. Even though the sign says $3.09, they're still paying $2.99. The guy pulling up in about 5 minutes, he's going to see $3.09, and that's what he's paying. So we keep our clients that are pre-booked with appointments, which also is a tool that our groomers use. Like, hey, you're probably going to be grandfathered in if I can keep rebooking you in the system. And it takes a load off our secretaries in the office. It gives our groomers more power to book them and get them on their schedule so that they're able to have fuller schedules. And then obviously the newer clients, I don't want to say I don't care about them, but hey, they could pay more. They don't know anything about our service or anything. They haven't been loyal yet. Maybe they're just going to use us one and done. So we definitely raise those clients first just to make sure that, you know, they're going to pay it first. And then obviously we'll grandfather in. Like okay, so anyone that's booked from now until December 31st can stay at the prices, and then effective, you know, 1/1, everyone's going to get new prices based on what's on our website now, and that's how kind of we'll trickle it in. We won't just go out like a banshee and just raise everybody and no questions asked. Obviously, you know, for $5, people are on fixed incomes. They'll call, I'm sorry, I need to cancel my future appointments. Obviously, my secretaries know they have leeway to keep anybody at the existing pricing. If they complain enough or they're just going to cancel. So again, we have different tools that we use. We're obviously understanding, but the general majority will pay the increase, like I always say. And if there is special circumstances or situations, my husband just lost a job, I can't afford this, I'm going to give you $50 off this appointment. It doesn't matter. We're very caring. We're very understanding. We get it. Things are expensive in this world today. Everyone's broker than broke. It's just we're in bad times right now, and hopefully they get better. But we have to ride out the storm, and we, you know, obviously work with our clients because at the end of the day, it's still money. We don't want to just let anyone walk away from our service, especially that they're still paying a lot of money. Whether it's 160, 170, 180, 150, it doesn't matter. It's still a lot of money for a service, and we'll usually give the groomers the difference in commission or whatever off that 10, 20, anything over $20. We usually just take care of our groomers. Which basically touched up on some of these on how to build a system around price raises. So our whole model is built around what is the most amount we can charge for our service. There's nothing bad about that. I mean, we're service providers, we're professionals, right? And there's no service provider in the United States of America that I know of that's coming to your house to perform any professional service that's going to take an hour or longer and will charge you under $100. That's why I don't ever understand why people are grooming dogs for under $100 in mobile. It just doesn't make sense. You're a painter, you're a plumber, you're an electrician. You don't think about it like that, but you're a super skilled individual. I can't groom a dog. I can't hold a scissor like that. I'll cut my fingers off. So I have to pay $100 minimum to groom my dog. I can change an outlet. On my electric outlet, you can't because you might zap yourself, but you're going to pay an electrician $200, $250 an hour just to show up. Again, I think this industry, a big thing is lacking is people realizing their self-worth in here, okay? You guys are worth more than what you're charging, way more. And people are just afraid to push the limit because they're going in it with their heart and not their mind. And at the end of the day, it's amazing and great and all, but that's not paying your bills and it's making you struggle. And that's why pricing from the beginning, keep it as a business. It's professional. You're a professional service provider. Treat it that way. And people will respect you even more. Like I said, we rebook our regular clients, allowing them to lock in. Sometimes we'll run an Instagram special or Facebook book until the end of the year, avoid any price increases, stay at the same price, nothing more. Just book now, all the way from now until October 31st. You can book with, for the next 6 months out, and we'll lock in your pricing. We definitely give plenty of communication. We do mass texting. We do email blasting. We do social media marketing. Anything that's going to be about raising prices or changing anything, we are so transparent. The reason why we're very successful, transparency and communication. They're the two biggest things. My life runs around them, and we're very big on those. So groomer availability, that's all what we're seeing. Our secretaries in the office all day, they're watching our groomers' schedules. Hey, this groomer's got a lot of availability open. Let's run a $20 first-time client discount promo code. We could do that. And then other times, we'll if we're overly booked, then we won't give any discount, or we'll charge extra for after hours. We'll do things. So we kind of like, use these tactics to, again, raise our prices or tweak our pricing. Handling price complaints. Oh my God, this is a big one. So thank you to my secretaries, who are the most amazing two human beings on this planet. And honestly, I couldn't do it without them. They take the brunt of this. Groomers come second, secretaries first. Whenever we advertise anything about, as far as just anything, the secretaries get the brunt of it. Okay. They're the most amazing people on the phone. They're trained to literally diffuse and, relax any client and explain to them why our pricing is this way, how our groomers get paid. We don't hide anything. We tell them, when COVID hit and the government was paying $1,100 a week to not go to work, you got your dog groomed because you love Julie, and Julie never went on unemployment. You know why? Because we had to, we pay more than $1,100 a week. So this is, when clients understand how our groomers are our business partners and how they're compensated, and letting them know that, like, at the end of the day, these price increases are, they have to be done. You go to the store, you're buying a dozen eggs, it's $10, then it's 11, then it's 12. No one's saying anything. The cashier's just scanning away. So our groomers are trained that they don't really get involved with any discussions with prices. They're like a cashier at a supermarket. They're just, implementing whatever's going to be. Okay. It's the office. The office handles everything. You have a problem, call the office. And our office, they handle all these complaints amazing. They try to diffuse it. Some of them, again, based on the client notes that we see, based on how much they tip our groomers. There's a lot of factors that go into if we want to be lenient and leave them at a lower price, or just say, you know what, well, let's cut ties with them and take on a new client with a higher price. Extras. I like extras. Extras are good. Holiday pricing. All right. So we don't implement any holiday specific price increases. We just stick to like our same increases that we do throughout the year. Yes, everybody comes out of the woodworks. We know that. All our groomers even come out of the woodworks and want to work double time during the holidays because the tips are good and there's nothing going on, and it's just a good time of the year. Everything's happy and amazing. So we do ramp up our staffing availability, which obviously come more clients. The once a year, twice a year people, we don't charge them anything more. They just get done. Obviously, if we don't have room and we can't do them, then we'll do an out of area fee, which is a big one. So again, we do out of area fees, meaning after hours or out of our normal service area or last minute. Even sometimes client calls, I need my dog groomed today. I mean, there could be a groomer in his area technically 10 minutes from his house, but you know what? He doesn't know that, and he doesn't have to know where I am. He wants it done now. He's going to have to pay for right this second. So we charge a $150 out of area fee. I'll call one of my groomers in the area. Hey, you want to get this guy done after you're done with your fourth job, and stay a little extra out. And she's getting paid commission on the job plus the 150. So she's definitely happy. We have been lately giving first-time client discounts. We've never ever given them in 8 years in business. I feel like now it's more important than ever. There's a lot of competition around, even though they're not competition. They're competition. We want to make sure that we're wowing our clients, right? I want to show you the difference between me and ABC Pet Grooming down the block. Even though ABC Pet Grooming is amazing, I just want to show you the Ruff Life experience. My groomer with 10 years experience, who's nominated, nationwide for being the most amazing groomer at the shows, and our best shampoo, our brand new van, our whole experience that we're selling. I want to wow somebody. So if I can give $20 off and wow somebody, we will give $20 off to wow somebody to show them the difference between somebody else and us. So it's been working out pretty good. And it also gives the opportunity for the groomer to capture that client and really make that connection with them and rebook them and gain a client for life. So $20 is nothing to give a client. They're still paying $150 for a grooming, which is absolutely amazing. Cash discounts. I was never a fan of this. I was that person that walked out of restaurants because they charged more for credit card fees. I did that and it was all great. And I never believed in it until I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, right during COVID. I woke up one day and I was analyzing my reports and realized that it cost me $30,000 the prior year to accept credit cards. When I saw that number, I literally got sick to my stomach. $30,000 just to basically say I accept credit cards. Clients could have paid in 5 other different ways, but everyone opts in for a card because, hey, I'm getting free points and I'm the first one that pays with a card. I'm flying around everywhere for free and I'm getting all kinds of rewards. And okay, well, at this point, I cut that immediately. I nipped that right in the butt, like quicker than quick. Just went online. Effective, I made 2-month leeway. Effective, July 1st, 2020, we will be, all our prices on our website are for customers paying in cash. If you happen to use a credit card, you will incur a 4% price adjustment, non-cash price adjustment. Gas stations have been doing this forever. People say it's illegal in some states it's not. At the end of the day, I truly believe it's just a play on words, any way you want to put it. Whether it's, you're discounting it, our prices on our website right now, they're technically if you pay in cash. Or I put both prices like a gas station puts. You go on our website, you can see credit card pricing, cash pricing. Again, keep it transparent. You'll never have any issues. That's how we've done it. Now everybody pays a 4% processing fee. Our app that we use for business completely does it automatically. And I don't pay anything for credit card processing fee. If anything, I like credit cards more than ever because less cash, less going to the bank, less losing it, more secure. I mean, it's just all good all around. If you can implement that, it will affect your bottom line. You don't think about it when you're 1 van, 2 vans, then you wake up, you're 8 vans and you're spending $30,000 a year and you're realizing that's crazy amount of money. Service charge is another one. We had to do this during COVID. This started in 2020. Everything, I mean, I don't have to get into it, but every single thing from cotton balls to the vans that we use for business has skyrocketed anywhere from 25 to 40%. Okay. That is a huge number. We were making probably more money charging $100 for grooming than we are today charging $160 for a small dog. We're paying twice as much for vans. We're paying twice as much for everything. Workers' comp, insurance, you name it, it's through the roof. Obviously, every time we raise our prices, groomers benefit because groomers are getting paid commission. So if we charge $100 for a small dog, groomers are getting a commission of the $100. You charge $110, they're getting commission of $110. So you're not really raising $10. You're only raising 2/3 of that. So usually they're getting 35 to 40%. So you're only really raising 60%. So in order for us to maintain the service, the level of service we have, all our products that we use and the way we operate our business, there was no way to do it. And without raising our prices like $50, and that wasn't feasible. So we implemented a $15 service charge. Okay. And people say to me, and I think I hate it. I hate that we have to separate it. And again, the only reason why it's separated on a separate line item is because our groomers do not get paid on that service charge. That is for the business to offset the dramatic increase that we've had that has not came down any bit. It's just keep going up and up and up. This just goes straight to the business to offset our expenses that we've had go up. And even that $15 per appointment, not per dog, still does not even help our bottom line. It helps us, but it's nowhere near what it used to be prior to, let's say, just COVID. So we do that. I still have to explain to people to this day, it's a service charge, and why is it listed separate, ma'am? The only reason why it's listed separate is because if I put it with my pricing, our groomer then is going to want to get paid on $165. Instead, she gets paid on $150. So we have to leave it as a separate line item, but we do charge a service charge. Wow, that was quick. I'm sorry for like the Long Island, 400 miles an hour talking. I hope everyone absorbed it, or I'm not like, on speed or
no, I mean,
speed
Chris,
out.
I think in the recording, what I would recommend for everybody is to set the playback speed at 0.5.
That's funny.
All right. Well, dude, thank you. You just cruised through that. The chat was going wild during that as well. Lots of questions coming in for you, Chris, and we saved down a bunch of these. So guys, this is the point in the conversation where I want to invite you guys to unmute as well. So during that, thank you guys for staying muted. But what we're going to do here is just open up the floor to.
Hey, Alex, I don't mean to interrupt you for 1 second. Did you want me to zip through these questions in the feed and answer as many as I can, as quickly as I can before everyone starts asking their questions? Up to you, though. I don't care.
We only have about 15 minutes or so.
Okay,
So
cool.
why don't we, I mean, I don't want to
Yeah.
say the louder the better here, but let's just start off with some of the more recent ones as you were talking about groomer pay and structure and that sort of stuff. Chris, do you mind just giving us like an outline on with all this discount and surcharges and all that sort of stuff? How do you structure this with your groomers? Is there, are you guys splitting? How are the commissions? Are the W-2 to 1099? How are you guys arranging your business right now?
Okay, so our groomers all are W-2 employees. They work for the company. They are all commission based. Any groomer starting out with us today starts at 30% commission based on whatever service they provide. Services provided are on our website based on the dog weight category. So when you go online and you see a small dog in Long Island is 165 to have groomed, my groomer grooms your dog for 165. She's getting paid on 165. We add $15 surcharge and we add a 4% credit card if they pay with a credit card. That's the businesses, that's not ours. And sales tax we collect and we pay the government. And that has nothing to do with us. So groomers get paid commission on the service ticket that they provide.
Cool. That's great. Hope that answers some questions there and cleared some of that stuff up. Sandy just threw in the chat, what are your thoughts on hourly pricing versus what you currently do?
We have all kinds of skill sets in our company. The pricing per hour really does not work. I don't know how I can price per hour when I have a girl doing a Yorkie in 45 minutes, one doing it in 60, one doing it in 75 because she just wants to relax and chill and take her time. So for us, with the magnitude of the different skill sets we have and the kind of business we're running, our model is just transparent. I personally don't like when I hire a lawyer and he tells me it's 200 an hour and I'll write you a contract for your new whatever business. I want to know that it's $3,000 that I have to pay him to write it up and I'm done. I don't like hourly pricing for anything that I do in my life. And I try to never hire anyone that gets paid per hour because how do you really know their skill set? I mean, what if they're just slower? What if, you know what I mean? I don't know. So personally, I like the commission-based, model best.
Also, guys, feel free to chime in if there's any follow-up
And
questions.
groomers can also take longer because it's per hour now, so they can just hang out and take longer. So we don't want that. And yes, well, you could say, well, then they're going to rush it if they know they're going to make $60 and be done with that dog. But it's not like that. The way they're trained, we do have a pretty good timing marker for small dogs. Let's say it's just 1 hour for a 0 to 15-pound dog. So most groomers will know, like it just takes about an hour. I do have some groomers that take 10 minutes longer, 10 minutes less. Some groomers that are like speed racers, just because they're really good at what they do. But we charge flat rate, not per hour, and our groomers get paid commission.
Chris, talk a little bit about discounts here. There was a great question.
Are you training your groomers to talk to clients to increase pricing after assessment due to weight, coat issue? Talk to us how it goes. Absolutely. So we pulled up to a client's house. He got a $25 discount, first time client. Get there, the dog is super matted. Well, obviously we have to charge him extra. The matted fee is $35. So now he went from, 150 to 125 to now going to 155. So now it's like, they knew that on the phone before we get there. We tell them if the coat's matted or the dog weighs more, the price is going to be readjusted. We're giving you $25 off your service. The groomers have two choices. They can obviously tell the client, and there's two. It's going to go one of two ways. They can either walk away from the job and the client declines the service and we leave. That happens one every 1,000 rooms they're going to walk away from a job. No one's going to let you walk away from their house after you just showed up to groom their dog and they expected to pay $20 less. They got a $20 discount. So let's call it a free matted fee. We're very highly, no one disrespects our groomers. No one will give our groomers any type of lip. Our groomers are no to walk away from that job. I literally will freak out because they are we respect our groomers more than our whole business we don't have groomers, we don't have a business. And our groomers know that. We love them. They're in control of every job they go to, and it has to be that way. So they talk to the client. They're usually good at it. No clients really give them any lashback. I mean, they just always say like, well, I'm sorry, we could leave. There's no fee. There's no penalty. There's nothing. I could just walk away from the job. No problem. I'll give you back your dog. It doesn't go that way. So they're usually just like a little like annoyed that it was more money. But then again, my attitude's like, well, if you use us again, your dog's not going to be matted, and then you won't need to pay that fee, and then you'll be a client of ours, right? But chances are you're probably going to be a one and done because either your groomer's sick or you're just trying us to try us, or it's the holiday season and I want to get my money right now because I might never see you again. You're not a regular. You're not writing my girls' paychecks. And my girls know that. They know that the regular clients who are booked out for the rest of the year, that's who pays them. Okay. Not a new client with a matted dog that hasn't been groomed in 4 months, period. So get your money while you're there to anybody.
Chris, talk a little bit. There's some questions related to how to determine your pricing. I know you talked about this. Let me go back to that slide over there. About how to set your prices by looking in the area, trial and error, etc. Can you talk to us a little bit more about like determining like profitability, for example? So like, do you keep track of like, hey, what my operating expenses are, what my van costs me to go out, or even for the brick and mortar people here in the chat, hey, I know what it costs to run this place. Do you do any?
Well, I know how much it costs for us. So to have one van, right? To have one van on the road costs us $5,500 a month. To have one van on the road, okay, without grooming any dogs in it. So now you got that number, $5,500, and now you can go from there and figure out how many dogs you have to do and how hard you have to work and what price point you have to price at. So that's for us. That's basing it on a 2023 brand new unit, the way we do business in how we do things. About 5,500. You'll probably get a range of anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000. We're on the higher side because we're using new units and good technology and good stuff.
Do you?
How do you figure 5,500? I mean, our insurance alone, just so you guys understand, our insurance alone on our 2023 Wagon Tails ProMaster Clean Power System, our insurance is $1,000 a month, and our when you go buy one of these units, you put down anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, and your van payment is $2,500 to $3,000 a month. Add that to the $1,000 insurance. Now you're at $3,500 for phone, insurance, liability, accountant, gas, shampoo. It can get real crazy real quick if you're using a brand new unit and you're on the up and up, and you're insuring it properly. So if one of your employees crashes it, workers' comp. I mean, the list is endless. How much money goes out? It's crazy. And anyone that's running a multi-unit operation is definitely shaking their head like, "Yep."
Chris, do you charge cancellation fees?
I actually get more of a high off of just never servicing somebody again rather than charging somebody $50. So I'd rather never give them my service again. So obviously, if it's a cancellation, the lady got into a car accident or the guy's sick and he has COVID. No, I'm understanding. Anyone that's just canceling because we showed up at the door and they're just not. No, I literally X'd them out of my computer. I blocked them from online booking, and we never serviced them again. I don't even want their money. Because the couple that I've tried to charge that, they'll call and dispute the charge. Then they end up taking the charge back, and then I'm getting charged another $20 for disputing that charge. So it's a lose-lose. It doesn't happen often, honestly, and the few times it does, I'd rather just not even service the client. We got way more clients ready to book new appointments at higher pricing that we don't even bother. But now we do get a non-refundable deposit now upfront. We charge $75 non-refundable deposit upfront. Sorry, non-refundable up to 48 hours prior to your appointment. So you give us $75, we'll book your appointment. If you go online booking, you can get your money back if you cancel 48-hour notice. Anything less than that, you're losing your $75. And they'll still dispute that charge, but at least it's just what we do for online booking now. Gets people a little more serious when their credit card's on the line.
What about house call grooming, Chris? There's a question in the chat about how you would go about pricing for a service like that.
House call groomings, to me, if I'm a house call groomer and I shut down my mobile business tomorrow, I'm charging even more than mobile. You know why? Because it's such a specialty. I'm in your house. First of all, you got to deal with that client over your shoulder. That's a needy, special person that should be charged a needy, special fee for wanting you to be in their house and watching you. First of all, it's going to take you way longer. You're not using a K9 tube dryer. You're plugging into their little 120-volt outlet. It's taking you twice as long. They're watching you. You got to clean up their bathroom. it's a disaster of a business. So I respect house call groomers more than anything on the planet. I think they work overly hard. I think they're undercharging more than anything because, once again, they think that my cost of operation is less. They don't have a $3,000 van payment. No, you don't, but you're spending 3 hours inside that lady's bathroom, cleaning up her, walls after you're done grooming inside there. You could do way more in a van. We do 12 to 15, you could do 12 dogs in a day in our mobile unit and an all day. You can't do that as a house call groomer. So you're even more limited, and you should be charging even more. It's so specialty. I'm telling you, if you just push it a little bit, you'll realize what you're worth if you just price yourself a little bit more. And guess what? At the end of the day, you have nothing to lose, right? I can raise $10 tomorrow. People start saying, I'm canceling my appointment. No problem, Cindy. We're going to keep you at the same price because you've been so loyal and we love you. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. That's what people want to hear. So now all of a sudden you look like a good guy because it's, again, same thing. I'm so happy I'm driving around. Gas is, $2.89 a gallon. I'm like, it's still $1 overpriced. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just happy it's not $4, so I'm feeling good. But meanwhile, in reality, it should be even less than that. So house call groomers, raise your prices even more, okay? And if they want house call, I've tried to get house call groomers to come work mobile and take their clients into our mobile van numerous times. The groomer was on board 100%, signed up, let's go. I'm going to take your van. I want to work with you guys. I want to do it in your van. I'll give you half my money, fine. The clients don't want the van. They want the groomer in their house. So they should be paying for that even more than a mobile service, in my opinion.
All right, Chris, we've got 5 minutes left, so I want to ask you one last question, but I want this one to be a little bit more scenario based. I know you're going to be good at this. So real quick, let's say I call, ring, 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 Chris, I want you guys to come out. What do you ask me right away?
Hey, Alex, no problem. What town do you live in?
I'm in Dallas, Texas, and I have a little
Okay,
deal that I want to learn
perfect. That's awesome. So yes, Alex, we definitely will come to you. We do service Dallas, Texas, and tell me about your doodle. How much does your doodle weigh?
My doodle is a puppy. I'm not really sure its weight, Chris. Like
All right.
honestly, he's really small. He's not that heavy.
No problem. So, Alex, the way it works with our company, just so you know, everything's very transparent. We charge by breed and coat length, and as well as weight. So, very simply, I'm just going to put it like this. Sounds like your dog's probably under 15 pounds. So, we're just going to base the scenario off 15 pounds and under. So, if we get there, we weigh your dog weighs 15 pounds or less. The price to have Sparky groomed is going to be $150 plus tax. It's going to come out to $162.47. That's what the service will include. That includes a bath, a blowout, haircut, brush out, nail trimming, ear cleaning, fragrance, a hot towel massage, and a spritz at the end. The service will take about 30 to 45 minutes, done in front of your house. And basically with that, it's all inclusive. There's nothing extra. The only time it would be extra would be is if your dog weighed over 15 pounds, it would be $15 for the next bracket. Or if we get there and your dog is super matted. And if you don't know what that is, that means that we can't get the comb through the coat. Our groomer will come to the door with a leash and a comb. She'll try to put the comb through your dog. If she can't get the comb through your dog and the dog has knots, it will have to be shaved down short. There is a $35 fee. It will bring you total to $196.54. And again, these are our fees fully disclosed before we get there.
196
we accept.
Seems a bit high. The shop down the street just told me that they could do it for 100.
Right. So shop and mobile are two completely different things. So the hamburger down the street is $5.99 at that store. But when you have it Uber Eats, somehow it's $22 for that same hamburger, which is very weird to me. So I don't obviously say that comparison, but we're a completely different business model. So usually with a brick and mortar, what's going to happen is the difference between us and the shop is basically going to be that we're going to come there and do your dog straight through. There's no cages. So for $100, you can go drop your dog there. They're going to take him in along with probably 30 to 40 other dogs. He's going to sit in a cage. He's going to be there for probably 6 to 8 hours. There's no personalized attention. He's probably going to come home and probably not be feeling the best after the long, stressful day. Other animals, chances of catching kennel cough, anything else that could be potentially existent in a shop. Or we're coming to you in a brand new state-of-the-art van, and it's your dog one-on-one with our groomer of 10 years experience. Usually shops, again, obviously I'm just speeding through this. They're less experienced groomers or newer groomers that are starting out. They usually end up in shops. Our groomers are all screened. They have 5 years plus experience. And the difference in service is completely not comparable. So if you're going to shop around mobile to mobile and compare, you might find another mobile in the area. Maybe that might be $20 less, maybe 30. But all I could tell you is that we're licensed, insured. All our girls are on workers' comp, and we run a pretty legitimate business with over 1,000 5-star Google reviews. And that is worth the premium, in my opinion.
Love it. That was great. Also, by the way, disclaimer, Chris is obviously partial to his business and mobile. So take that as you will. Obviously, he's a good salesman. So
I think it applies. Honestly, it applies for shops too. You guys, listen, if you're in brick and mortar, I just don't understand it. I'm driving past all these brick and mortars. These people are killing themselves inside these shops all day. They have to do 100 dogs. The groomers are getting overworked, burnt out, underpaid. It's ridiculous. Raise your prices. Forget what they're doing down the block. Be the Ruth Chris Steakhouse in your neighborhood of like, I want to be the exquisite, high-end, upscale, bougie shop that's charging $100 for Yorkie when everybody else is 60. I want to be the most expensive mobile in the world. That's how I want to be. And you should have the same attitude when it comes to brick and mortar. It's all about your attitude, and you can get it. Not everyone's going to pay it, and we don't want everyone to pay it. And you're not going to need everyone to pay it when you charge that much.